Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel where I give you advice on gang stalking and how to deal with it. In today's video I want to address I guess an issue that has probably been on your mind for quite some time if you're being gang stalked, and of course that is wondering who is doing it and why they're doing it. And I just want to dispel some of the myths that have been circulating around. And if you remember one of my recommendations, which was that please do not watch all these gang stalking videos, because, except the useful ones, by the way, which, I'll give you an example for Jamil Rawls, Rare Art. He's got some good material. I don't necessarily agree with everything that he says, but some of it, most of it is pretty ideal because it gives you a tool of how to defeat the gang stalk and overcome it, which is what you essentially need to be focusing on. But generally the videos, there's a lot of misinformation in it. There's a lot of scare tactics, fear-mongering, which I do not like. I'm not one to, I try not to fall prey to this kind of mindset of like paranoia and fear. And I do tell you not to generally focus on the question of who is gang stalking you and why they're doing it, because it is a waste of time. But if you want my opinion on it, I've given it a thought. And so far from what I have seen and from my analysis, I come out with the following conclusions. Now, first of all, anyone talking to me about this being a spiritual battle or some kind of trial by fire or some kind of divine thing or reptilians or any form of conspiracy will definitely, in my opinion, be considered irrelevant and cuckoo. Sorry to burst your bubble, but it's got nothing to do with reptilians, it's got nothing to do with aliens, it's got nothing to do with any of that crazy shit and religious crap that people are spouting everywhere. So that's discarded offhandedly. Now, when it comes to, there are other theories that circulate around, which is saying that it's a conspiracy, but it's a conspiracy from the government or intelligence agencies, or that it's part of some kind of mafia criminal organization that wants to attack you. Now, I'm gonna go through these step by step, and you will see why it doesn't make sense. Now, remember, I am not saying that you're not being gang stalked or cause stalked or whatever is happening to you. I'm saying it's happening, but it's not happening the way that you think it is. First of all, as far as the government or police or CIA, MI5, intelligence agencies are concerned, military, they have no reason, literally, no logical reason to stalk you and gang stalk you, because A, you are of no value to them. On the paradigm of power and value, you are literally a relatively insignificant person. They have no reason to target you, literally no reason to target you. And more so than that, even if they had a reason to target you, they would not spend that much money and power and time to do this gang stalking to you, with the hopes that whatever their intentions might be, whether it be to kill you or destroy you in some shape or form, or cause you to act out and go to jail or be homeless, they have no reason to do that. Because let's say they're trying to silence you and destroy you. You must have been a whistleblower. You must have gone against some kind of massive corporation or gone against some kind of, that like you have some secret that you want to expose the government or expose some files on some corruption that's going on. That would explain why they would try to silence you. But if you're not engaged in any whistleblowing activity, then they have no reason to come after you. Okay, so consider that. And secondly, they have no reason to spend that much money and effort, because if they are sending agents against you, as you claim, that they're paying people, right? Because those people wouldn't do missions on you They wouldn't spend all their time doing street theater and doing all this, insulting you and directed conversations and shit that they're doing to mess with you. Um, they wouldn't do that without getting paid. They would want some pay. So why would the government spend? Why would the government be so sloppy and inefficient as to spend so much money and time and involve so many people in just harassing you with the hopes that maybe just one day you might go completely kaboom and you know, go crazy or kill yourself or something like that. So that doesn't really make sense if you think about it. And I would ask a question: why am I still being gang stalked? Why is it still happening to me to this day? Right? Why is it taking so long? Why we hear so many cases of people that are being gang stalked for not just 1 year or two like me, but for many years, 10 years, 20 years, 15 years? Like, why would it be prolonged for such an insufferable time period? So that doesn't really make sense. If the government, so first of all, you are of no value to the government. You're not a whistleblower. You don't have a lot of power. You don't have any value that they would need to take you out. You're not an enemy of the state. You are not a terrorist. And even if you were a terrorist, they would find ways to either, catch you and try you, or they would, frame you or do some kind of, if we want to go a little bit cuckoo, but hey, maybe they want to do a false flag on you, but it wouldn't take that long anyway. And if they want to take you out, the government can take you out in a second, man. If it's the CIA or MI5 or military, they can just send people after you and murder you and poison you, like they've done with that Russian spy in the UK a couple of years back. They can send people to kill you, they can frame you, they can do all kinds of shit to destroy you and silence you. They would not need to resort to gang stalking. So the whole thing that the government is after me and is doing all this to me is completely senseless, because A, you are not that significant. You're not a whistleblower. You're not that important. You are not a threat to the government. And B, because the government would not spend that much time and effort unless there was a really good reason to do so and there was a really great return for it. And it would either way, it would find a cheaper way and a quicker way of doing it that does not involve spending so much time and effort on just a single person. That's inefficiency at its best. Now we come to another theory. There's another conspiracy theory that says that gang stalking is caused by mafiosos, by criminal organizations that want to target certain individuals and involve them in trafficking. Now, that's absolutely fine. It makes sense because the incentive makes sense. For example, if I was a mafioso, if I was a mafia, and I wanted to target someone that I thought I could, target and get away with, and I'll try to, for example, say, hey, you know what? We'll try to get this guy killed so that we can farm his organs. And, if you look it up on the internet, the price of an entire body worth of organs is about $100,000. That's a lot of money. So if someone manages to kill you and take your organs surreptitiously and sell them on the black market, that mafia group can make a lot of money, right? So they have an incentive to do that. Fair enough. But then again, the question is, why spend all that time and effort again to stalk you and do all this gang stalking, which lasts for like a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking years, just with the hopes that, because if my payoff is $100,000, why would I spend, because every year, like I'm spending money keeping these people, on the pay, coming after you and doing all the street theater and doing all this shit to you and directed conversations and all the shit that's messing with you. Why would I do that? Just with the hopes that one day you might commit suicide and have enough, or that you would kill other people and be killed or go to jail or something, and then I can, it's too much effort, and you might actually, if you think about it, if you've been stalked for 5 years, then that's a lot of money. That's probably more than 100,000. That's probably a lot more than 100,000. That's probably like, I don't know how much, but if you think all the people that are involved in stalking you that are getting paid on a daily basis, or I don't know how much they would be paying them, but it would be a massive amount, and just the revenue wouldn't be good. It just wouldn't be good business. So you know what I mean? It doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense, right? Um, so that's one reason why that should be discarded, because it doesn't make sense, because the it just doesn't work out from a economical perspective. Uh, and the second reason is very simple. If I'm a mafia, I'm sure I can find ways to kill you much quickly. You know, it's not difficult to do for a mafia to get a couple of people to go and murder you or poison you or some shit like that. I mean, there's hitmen out there. Come on, there's a dark web. You can hire hitmen to go and like fucking murder you. There's all kinds of shit that can be done to kill you, and like it wouldn't cost them a lot of money or effort to do that to you as compared to the gang stalking campaign. So that doesn't make sense, right? I mean, they would want a quicker method to just off you. There's many things they could do. They could frame you. They could get you in trouble with the law. They could threaten you. They can do all kinds of shit. And trust me, it would be a lot quicker and easier and simpler done for them than what um, um than gang stalking. So in most likelihood, these two conspiracy theories, that it's either the government who is doing this to you, or that it's what do you call it, the mafia, is very unlikely. Okay, so we've dispelled these two myths that have been circulating around. So don't worry, okay? You're not going to be murdered. No one's trying to kill you. No one's trying to get you murdered. No one's trying to poison you or rape you or assault you, okay? None of that shit is happening. However, back to the reality, you are being gang stalked, okay? You go out there and you notice people are talking about you. Everywhere you go, people are talking about you. They're saying negative things about you. They're insulting you. They're laughing at you. They know everything about your private life. They are doing street theater. They are mocking you and harassing you. And it just continues. And the feeling that you're being stalked is massive. And technically, yes, you are being gang stalked. Fair enough. I'm being gang stalked to this day. Who's behind it? I will explain to you now what my theory is. I don't know for sure, okay? But this is the closest thing to logic and rationality that I can find. It is not a government or any form of organization that is after you. This gang stalking, okay, it's basically, maybe you piss someone off that has some amount of power, okay? Uh, Someone in the military, someone in the police force, someone that had some kind of power. And now this is some kind of revenge. Now, an aspect of it is revenge. It could be for revenge. It could be for many reasons. I'm getting to it, but it could be for many reasons. It could be that someone hated you, hated your guts, and they caused this gang stalking. Now, it's not organized, but you can get someone gang stalked without it being organized, and I'll explain to you how. Um, Someone hated you. Someone was jealous enough to want to fuck your life over. And by the way, it doesn't happen as a plan. It happens because it's not organized. It happens in incremental doses. So this person does this, and then it grows like it snowballs, with time into what we know as gang stalking. So someone hated you for some reason. You pissed someone off that has some relative amount of power or influence. You made someone jealous, or some people just found out some shit about you. Doesn't matter, through hacking, through whatever, and wanted to make some kind of prank on you. Because a big element of the gang stalking, you need to realize, is these people, they don't know the effect that they're having on you. It's not exactly the intention to murder you or kill you or get you to kill yourself. They do want to mess with your life. They don't care how far it goes. It's a little bit like a prank that goes a little bit too far, and then there's some really horrible consequences. Then you ask those people, yeah, but look, you caused this person to, like, for example, remember those people that had revenge porn done on them a couple of years back? There was that phenomenon of revenge porn and people posting nudes of other people on the internet, and then people killing themselves over it or killing someone over it. The intention of that person who's doing that nasty, naughty prank or revenge porn is not necessarily to kill that person or to get him to commit suicide. It's a cruel prank. It's like someone wants to prank that person. They want to mess with them. They want to fuck them over. They want to bully them. They want to feel some amount of power. They want to mess with them. They have some beef or axe to grind. It doesn't matter what the reason is, but it's like a prank. It's like they're just trying to prank with that person. They're just trying to toy with that person, mess with them. They don't know what kind of effect it could potentially have on that person, and frankly, they don't care. And maybe they have reasons to think that whatever, you deserve it. You know, Especially in the case where there's elements of jealousy or like a beef or revenge involved, or racism, then they might say, hey, whatever, it's your fucking problem, not mine. So you just need to understand, you piss someone off, perhaps, maybe you don't even know it. Maybe someone's just jealous of you. Maybe you have some enemies. Maybe it could be anything. And what happens is you get hacked. So either that person or group of people decide to find hackers to hack you, which is, let's be honest, it's not that difficult to find nowadays. Could easily be done on the dark web, especially if the person works in the military or some kind of law enforcement. They can easily get people to mess with your life and hack you and keep track of everything that you're doing and get all that juicy intel on you and use it to mess with your life. And so what happens is, either way, whichever way it works, is you get hacked. This is how it starts. You get hacked, everything gets hacked. I'm talking about Facebook, I'm talking about emails, I'm talking about phone calls, I'm talking about social media like Instagram, WhatsApp, everything gets hacked. So eventually they will find something that's humiliating or embarrassing or very private about you, which they will use to mess with you. And of course, what happens then, the snowballing effect happens. They don't need to organize anything. They just need to divulge that information somehow to the public. And they will find ways to do so. It doesn't have to be like on television or anything. It could just be on websites. It could be just through word of mouth or certain websites or some kind of platform, social media platform or something. And it's probably done in a way that even if you look yourself up on the internet using your formal name, you won't be able to find it, because what information they would have posted about you, divulging all your secrets and everything, and I mean pictures and emails and all kinds of phone calls and exchanges and videos even, would be posted on some forum or some kind of fucking website or any platform without the use of your name. So when you look it up, then you can't find it. So you think, there's nothing about me on the internet. Well, actually there is. It's just that you don't have access to it. And the people know they have access, just they know you through your face. They recognize you using your face. They don't recognize your name. They may actually know your name, but they know you through your face. So that's how it works, okay? And from then on, it's just a snowball effect, okay? Everywhere you go, everyone knows everything about you. Everyone is talking about you. And it just spreads like wildfire. People love drama. You would be surprised how much, like, people love anything that's juicy, like gossip-wise, with the feminization of society nowadays, people don't have the standards that they used to have 50 years ago. And I'm a pretty old school guy, so it can kind of baffle me sometimes. But, back in the old days, people were a little bit more careful about what they said about other people, and they kept their privacy intact. But nowadays, it's not like that. Nowadays, with the feminization of society, people will gossip. They would love that juicy gossip. Anything that's drama, anything that's embarrassing, humiliating, drama, funny, anything they can use to make fun of someone and target them as a laughing stock, or target them as a, use it to bully them or make fun of them or insult them or whatever. They will use it. They will do that, and then will spread. Then it spreads like wildfire, and that's it. It's nothing more really. That's just how simple it is. It snowballs. Okay, it's not organized. These people are all involved in it. They're involved in it as a prank. They're doing it willingly. So I hope that clarifies everything. My camera is about to switch off, but I hope that explains everything to you.